Well, I think media play a big role to increase the people's awareness of the climate changes and about the benefits of low carbon economies. I think this really need communication with the people, need people to know why we need this low carbon effort and how we can improve our system and our life, for the low carbon economy. So this is really, government of course play some roles, but medium really take the bigger job. I would say it's not really enough. Why? Because some of the investment in the short run cannot make money, cannot really cover the cost. So that's why in many areas, at the beginning, you need a government support. You need a government to sometimes make subsidies, make the special policies for those new, particularly renewable energies, and to deal with the pollutions, all those things, because these are really public goods, right? Sometimes you need the market to respond, but sometimes the market not respond that very well. So in this junction, I would say why medium is important, because only with the media, to give the people the information why we need this, why it's important, then people can evaluate the products such as renewable energies and some other like electronic vehicles. Can people evaluate it, and then people will pay more money, and then they'll make the investment more. So that's why I said it's not enough, not only enough by the investment, but also not enough by the government and the media to increase their people's awareness and to understand the importance of this investment. We need international corporations, of course. This is global public goods, right? It's not an individual public goods. Not only for the individual countries, but for the globe, our globe, and the international corporations are a must. So I think all this kind of international convention is important to share the responsibilities and then create the new ways, new opportunities for the country, for the company to cooperate with each other and to make a collective effort, not only individual effort, towards a better situation. You need to deal with inflation from two aspects. Normally, people think about the demand side, right? Increase the interest rate, for example, but try to lower down the demand. But also, you need to think about it from the supply side, because the inflation is a supply-demand issue. If your supply is low, your price will increase. So you need to pay attention to the supply side. There's two aspects of the supply side. One aspect is the long run. Long run, you need to pay attention to the production, to the efficiency, to the technology, to increase the production and decrease the cost. Then you can lower down the inflation. But at the same time, there's another aspect. That's a global trade, import, from other countries, from low income, low inflation countries. So that's why I would suggest that country may increase the import from China because China, we have a deflation now. That's right, the prices are down. Prices are really low, and that will help other countries to, because in the past we really pay attention to the company, to the supply chain, and to try in the pandemic, the government policy is not to send a check to the household, but try to provide some support for the companies. So companies keep their capacities there and continue to produce. That makes a supply, enough to counterbalance the demand. Then, of course, there's a demand side issue. Demand side issue that really remind people why so much money issued, why so much debt, and why we have so-called import inflation from other countries. Some countries issue so much debt, and their money is international money, then everybody have affected. Everybody facing so-called import inflation because the money, the prices are determined, denominated by that money. So from that point of view, I would say we need to work together and to deal with this issue, to seize this opportunity to think about how we can change the global system financially, about the money system, and also the supply chain, how we can make sure that the supply chain is stable and continue to make the supply and to balance the supply demand. In some sense, this is very fortunate for the country to have the resources, right? But then, of course, we're facing the challenges as well. One challenge is how to deal with the future, how to manage the resources now, and for the future to have the more development, technology, industry. So that's a very important issue. Yeah. Also, it's a challenge for this country because of the oil, because of the gas. That's all the so-called carbon-rich resources, and how to based on this, how we develop the new renewable, clean energy, and how we can really contribute to the changes of global economic structures facing these climate changes. So I listened to the ministers of AU, and I think it's very clear they are making effort. So that's good, really, really good. We need everybody in the world to make an effort. Not only the so-called growing economy which use more energy, but also the energy producing countries, economies, to transfer to the new pattern of the energy and economic growth. We need to stick on the multilateral system. We don't want to have the deglobalization. We want to have a further globalization to deal with all our problems, not only the inflation, but also the global climate change.